Hello, everyone. Just checking in here from the work desk. I'm actually in the middle of editing down the end of 2023 coverage, the Whose Year Was It episode. I was looking through a bunch of the comments and I realized we have not done a Hagaki-Yoi in a while, so it's time for a recurring segment called Hagaki-Yoi, where I answer questions from you, the people, about sumo, about life, about anything you want to ask about. I've just noticed that we've had a lot of recurring comments coming up, and I just thought, now it's the end of the year. We haven't done one in a while. It's time to get back to you, the people, and what do you want to know? First of all, updating you on all the channel happenings. Number one, the Kickstarter still going on. Less than a week left. If you haven't yet, now is the time. And second of all, I tested negative for COVID. We're done. Yes. Happy Merry to everybody, and thank you to everyone who checked in. The first question I got from a bunch of people on my last Who Will Be the Next Ozeki episode. A bunch of people wondered why I did not include Gonoyama in my next Ozeki rankings. To be fair, I had him as number 7 on the rankings, and I only ended up doing 6 wrestlers on the episode. Now, I got nothing against Gonoyama. It was just 3 things. Number 1, I think Hokuseiho has a better chance sooner. He's younger, he's bigger, and he's a belt wrestler. Number 2, Gonoyama is older, he's a little long in the tooth, and he's a pusher thruster, which means I'm not totally sold on his consistency yet. And I've also been burned recently by Kinbozan, another highly touted pusher thruster who's a little bit older than we think, working his way up the Bansuke. So depending on what I see in the next Rebasho, I'm very open to changing the rankings, but I don't see 25-year-old Gonoyama charging the barricades at Ozeki in the next 9 Basho. Second thing several of you have noticed is that, number 1, I have stated on the channel that I don't think Kirishima is going to make Yokozuna, and 2, I have just ranked Kirishima number 1 on my next Ozeki rankings. How can this be possible? Well, there are 2 separate questions being asked, and I don't think they are mutually exclusive. Number 1, do I think Kirishima is going to be a Yokozuna? I mean, let's just say, what are the chances of Kirishima winning a tournament? I think the chances are probably somewhere between, in a regular tournament, if he's feeling healthy, between 30 and 40%. Those are great odds. But what are the odds he's going to get 2 in a row? Now, of course, he's already won 1 in November, so he just needs to win 1 now. He doesn't need to win 2 in a row, so 1 is easier than 2. So do I think his chances of becoming a Yokozuna is about between 30 and 40%? And that percentage is higher than the other 2 guys I had on the ranking. I actually think it is more likely next year that we do not have any Yokozuna than Kirishima get promoted to Yokozuna. So that's how I ended up squaring that circle. This next question has been sort of popular for a couple years now, but I have never quite addressed it on the show. And recently I got 2 excellent questions on the sort of the same topic. So Provençal Le Gaulois asked, is there a particular reason why Uncle Sumo's Attaboys is accompanied by a pic of Amanishiki? Love the guy. And then George Reeves Jr., 8289, asked, how long will it be before Tamawashi gets the Uncle Sumo title? Well, Uncle Sumo was sort of a running gag over at tachiai.org, and that Amanishiki was just this old uncle-type character who was just sort of like, hey, buddy, you're in sumo now. Hang out with Uncle Sumo. And I always sort of enjoyed the idea of Uncle Sumo, so with their permission, I named my segment Uncle Sumo's Attaboys, and the hidden joke was that it was Amanishiki. I love Amanishiki. He was actually the first Tagata I ever bought was Amanishiki upon his retirement. I believe he was the oldest Rikishi to ever get to ever return from Judio to Makuuchi and get a Kachikoshi. So, and also he is the last Sekitori to be older than me. And for that specific reason, I will always love Amanishiki. Now, will Tamawashi be the new Uncle Sumo? I don't know. I ask you, the people. And our final question for this bonus Hagaki-Yoi comes from Andy Star 6858, who asks, high energy and uplifting content, but what happened to the Pick the Flannel contest? Oh, what happened to the Pick the Flannel contest? Let me tell you, you just won it. What? Sumo shout out for Andy Star 6858. Congratulations. You are the next winner of the Pick the Flannel contest. So you get to hashtag Pick the Flannel. You get a sumo song of your choice, and we have just shouted you out. So either in the comments of this video or head out to MrJWags channel at gmail.com, where you can reach out, pick the flannel you would like to see on a future episode, and any specific sumo song you would want from the channel's history. Thank you so much for asking this question. It's got us back on the Hagaki-Yoi kick. So if any of you have questions for me about sumo, about life, about anything, feel free to ask in the comments, and I'll see you next time on the Dohyo.